Hey there, good morning. How you people doing today? I am doing amazing. I apologize for missing you guys a few days last week. I got the strangest thing. No one in my house has this, but I messed around and caught pink eye. Isn't that crazy? I mean, that's something that little kids catch, but I messed around and got it somehow. And the weirdest part is, I'm the only one in my house that has it. So it wasn't pretty, boy. It was not pretty. That's not even a manly type of disease, thing that you can even talk about. I mean, it's just horrible, just horrible. I'm still getting over it, but I am well on my way to being mended. So that's a great thing. Today, I wanted to share something with you guys. I don't think I've ever talked too openly about this, um, but as in the commentaries, you can see it's about getting that tap, and that everything has a season. And here's what I mean by that. Back in 1995, I was up at the University of Michigan. Matter of fact, I probably should have graduated back in 1994, but because I wasn't quite ready to take on the world of work and or grad school, I decided I would take kind of a I'm gonna call it a little bit of lighter year, and I stayed up in Michigan for basically another year. During that time, I was finishing off some class. I mean, I was legitimately in school. I was in school full time, but in retrospect, if I think about it, I probably could have finished it. Probably could have finished up a year earlier, but that's neither here nor there. That's actually leads into the story. Um, but one of the things that I decided that I was going to do during that between that 94 and 95 school year was my plan was to get myself into grad school. So I was going to use the year because it was going to be a lighter year to do all the stuff that I needed to get myself into grad school because I knew I wasn't quite ready to go to work yet. The reality was I wasn't really quite ready to go to grad school either. If I'm totally honest, I really wasn't ready to leave the whole undergrad experience at all. It's just not something that really excited me. I just wasn't ready to go. So as a result, uh, me and my roommate, we had this coffee table in our living room, and on this coffee table, underneath, so you have like a glass top, and then underneath you have the wood base or whatever. And I had a pile this thick of grad school applications. Yep, it was about 2, 3 wide, about that thick. I even filled out some of them, and they collected about an inch of dust over the course of that fall and winter semester. Um, so much so that even as I was heading I graduated in '95. So in March of '95, I'm getting ready for finals or starting getting ready for finals and whatnot. And like I said, I had an inch of dust on these applications. I had made absolutely no progress whatsoever. None. I was just kind of stuck mentally. Um, and I'm sure I had received some signs before then, but I didn't. So one day I had a job. I was living in Ann Arbor, and I was driving down to the nature center in Detroit to work on the weekends. So I'm driving down one weekend, one early morning, and it was an ice storm. And so I'm driving down Grand Boulevard, and I hit a patch of ice. And I hit this patch of ice, and I slid for about a mile, going about 5 miles an hour, sliding down the road, and I could not stop to save my life. True story. It was really bad ice storm, and it was nothing that I can do. So I'm sliding down the street, Grand Boulevard, all the way down, right about to get on the bridge, and I'm just sliding down, and there was absolutely nothing I can do. I'm pumping the brakes, just trying to hopefully just guide the car or whatever. And the ironic part is, now that I think about it, is the car was going straight down the road. It wasn't wobbling. It wasn't doing anything. It was straight down the road. And then as I come up to the corner, right before I hit Jefferson, right before you get to Jefferson and cross onto the Belle Isle Bridge, I saw a bus coming, and the bus was also having a hard time. It was a DOT, Detroit, and the bus was also having a hard time, and it started wiggling. And I'm sitting here doing the mental calculations, and I'm like, that bus is gonna hit me, and there's nothing I can do about it. It is absolutely nothing I can do about this. Well, lo and behold, as soon as I hit the middle of the intersection, I'll be damned if the bus didn't hit me right on my driver's side. Immediately, everything sped up, and I was immediately shot off into a telephone pole. Just at the edge of the intersection. I was able to stop then. Okay, fortunately, the telephone pole didn't fall over or whatever, anything like that. But whatever. Of course, like all good bus drivers everywhere, the bus driver got out to help me and make sure that I was okay. Not. He immediately sped away, and there you go. So that became an issue later on, but it was what it was. So there I am in my new car, because I just got my new car, hit by a bus on the side of the road. And I later come to understand that was my first sign. That was the first sign that Yah, God, or the universe, or whoever, or whatever you choose to call him, her, or she, was trying to tell me something. But like any good red-blooded American, I completely ignored it. Yes, I did. So I just, I got patched up, ended up making it home back to Ann Arbor that day. Had a bit of a headache, but I was good. So I'd go puttering around, doing my thing. And then all of a sudden it was the next week. I'm sorry, about a month later. About a month later, I get my car back. It was almost totaled, but not quite. So of course, my insurance company had it fixed, which is great. I really appreciated that. I go back, and I'm up in Ann Arbor. I'm hanging out, and it is the day of the Magic Johnson Round Ball Classic. I believe it was April 9th. Now, it's April. I had just been playing golf the night before. It was 70 degrees and beautiful. Best time to be in Ann Arbor. Everybody was having a great time. It was wonderful. No snow anywhere. I wake up that morning, and I told my little brother that I was going to take him to the Magic Johnson Round Ball Classic. Now, if any of you know anything, whenever a big brother tells a little brother anything, that he's going to do anything, that little brother doesn't really give a dang about the weather. He just says that, hey, you said you were going to do X. And I don't, that's all they're interested in. You said you were going to take me somewhere. You're supposed to take me somewhere. So, like any good brother, I wake up the next morning on Sunday. Snow is just ice every freaking where. Now, keep in mind, I just got my car back. Literally. I had it back for like 2 days. But I'm like, you know what? I told Aaron I would take him. So here we go. So it took me, I'm in Ann Arbor, or Ypsilanti at that time. I'm in Ypsilanti. I live in Detroit. My parents live in Detroit. 30-minute drive tops. It took me 4 hours to get home. When I got home, it took me another 4 hours to make it out to the palace. When I got to the palace, we stayed there for approximately 20 minutes before my little brother said, I've seen enough. I wanted to choke him. But then it took me another 3 hours to get back to my parents' house. Once I got to my parents' house, not going to throw any shade, Alicia, but I was encouraged to hurry up and get back to Ann Arbor. So I jumped back on the road, kind of tired and a little pissed because I wasn't able to take a little break. At which time, I'm driving back down the freeway, back on 94. Now things have cleared up except for me. where I hit a patch of black ice and run into the median right across from the airport. Yep. This time the car is completely totaled, and I have a concussion out of my mind, right? All of this area right in between my eyes is crushed, is pushed back about, I don't know, 4 or 5 centimeters. It's not a good look. Alicia's okay, although she's hurt up a little bit. That was the second sign. And it was during that time after I had surgery and after I woke up, I was like, okay, I get it. It's time for me to get on with this and get on with my life. See, the first time I was hit by that bus, I think that was the universe telling me, Jimmy, you need to get on with your life, man. Yep. And the second time with the median, where I almost freaking died, that was the universe saying, well, if you don't get on with your life, I'm going to help you with it. So I was afraid to know what the third one is. Within the next 2 weeks, I was in grad school. That's true. Within the next 2 weeks, I was literally in grad school with everything paid for, everything taken care of. I was good. I looked like Doug. I had facial surgery. Flew myself to Atlanta, find somebody to pay for it. I had done a lot. All of this within all of about 2 weeks, a 2 week span. Took my finals. I was good. And I've tried not to miss any of the major lessons since then. But why do I bring this up? Well, I failed to tap again. I feel that it's about that time for another transition. This time I'm paying attention though. I don't need to get hit by a bus, or I don't need to run into a median. Hey, so what that means is I've got some ideas about it, and I'll be sharing them over the next few weeks and or months. But we're in a transition period again. So personally, I'm doing some things differently, and professionally, I'll be doing some things differently. And again, I'll be sharing those with you guys. I'm telling you about this today, though, because I'm saying don't be like me. Don't be hard-headed. Don't be hard-headed. Listen, when God, the universe, taps you on the shoulder, pay attention. Pay attention. If you pay attention, that way you don't have to worry about all that crazy stuff. All right. So that's me signing off today. This is a little bit longer than I thought, but those were two very important things that happened to me that actually, led to me being here. So that's it. That's all. I'll keep you posted with how we change things and what's going on going forward. And until then, catch you later.